Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be born without any arms or legs? Most people who are born without limbs don't make it past infancy. But one man was able to not only survive, but thrive. And today he is a world-renowned motivational speaker. He has written several books that have been translated into over 60 languages and sold over 3 million copies. And if you hear him speak, you will never forget it. That man is Nick Vujicic, and here are the top 10 inspiring lessons from his life. Welcome to our channel, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Number 10. The hard way. To say that Nick Vujicic had a rough childhood would be an understatement. When he was born in 1982, doctors told his parents that he wouldn't survive. Not only was he born without arms or legs, but also without a fully functioning heart, as well as missing half of his skull. However, little Nick proved them wrong and survived. But things didn't get better from there. You see, when he started going to school, he became the target of bullies. As he himself put it, they would push me down the stairs, call me names, laugh at me, try to take my lunch money, shove me in lockers. It got so bad that at one point Nick had to be carried out of school by his mother because he had been beaten up so badly. Nick was severely depressed. He hated himself and felt useless. At the age of 10, he even tried to take his own life, but he failed and ended up in a coma for 2 weeks. Thankfully, he was cared for by his loving family who helped him pull through, and Nick credits them with helping him turn his life around. "My mom and dad gave me the wings to fly," he says. "If it wasn't for their unconditional love, I wouldn't be here today." Nick learned to accept his condition and moved forward with his life. In 2001, he founded the nonprofit organization Life Without Limbs, which aims to help other people with limb differences live fulfilling lives. Nick has also become one of the world's most sought-after motivational speakers, having addressed audiences in more than 30 countries. He truly is an inspiration to us all. Number 9. Tetra-amelia. So what exactly is Nick's condition? Why was he born without limbs? It's actually very rare, and scientists aren't entirely sure what causes it. It's called tetra-amelia syndrome, which simply means that a baby is born without arms and legs. Only about 1 in 1 million babies are born with this condition, and it occurs when a person's genes do not develop properly during pregnancy. There are different theories as to why this happens, but ultimately we don't know for sure. What we do know is that it's not caused by anything that the parents did or didn't do. It's just one of those things that sometimes happen. Nick is actually the only known survivor of tetra-amelia syndrome in Australia, and one of only about 30 known survivors worldwide. This makes him an extremely rare person indeed. But despite the challenges that he's faced, Nick has never let it define him. He's gone on to live a full and happy life, and he uses his platform to help others do the same. Number 8. Living life on his terms. Growing up without limbs can be pretty tough, but Nick refused to let it hold him back. He learned to crawl by using his elbows and toes, and eventually he was able to walk with the aid of crutches. He even taught himself how to type and swim. He used prosthetics when he was younger, but eventually stopped using them because they were more of a hindrance than a help. He learned to write with a pen between his toes and to paint with a brush attached to a stick. Nick also learned to use adaptive equipment to play sports such as basketball and soccer, and he excelled at both. In fact, he was even selected for the Paralympic team in Australia. He didn't pursue it, but it shows just how capable he is. Nick is also an accomplished public speaker and has given talks all over the world. He's shared his story with everyone from school kids to corporate executives, and he's always able to inspire and motivate his audience. Nick doesn't let his disability define him. Instead, he lives his life on his own terms, and he encourages others to do the same. 7. Facing challenges head-on. Nick's life has been full of challenges, but he's never backed down from them. In fact, he's always met them head-on. For example, when he was in school and the other kids would bully him, he would fight back. Of course, he couldn't beat them at their own game, so he found other ways to defend himself. For example, he would often use his sharp wit to make fun of the bullies. He would also stand up for himself and never let them push him around. And most importantly, he never gave up hope. Even when things were at their darkest, Nick knew that things could always get worse. And he never let that get him down. He knew that he had to keep going no matter what, and that's exactly what he did. Nick's story is an inspiration to all of us. No matter what challenges we face in life, we can overcome them if we never give up hope. Number 6, never giving up. Despite all the obstacles that were stacked against him, Nick never gave up. He could have easily slipped into a deep depression and decided that life wasn't worth living. But instead, he chose to fight for every breath he took, and it was this determination that allowed him to not only survive but thrive. Nick's story is a reminder that no matter how difficult things may seem, it's always possible to find hope. If we never give up, we can achieve anything we set our minds to. Number 5, believe in yourself. One of the most important lessons that Nick's story teaches us is to believe in ourselves. When Nick was born, doctors told his parents that he wouldn't survive. And for most of his life, people underestimated him because of his disability. But Nick always believed in himself and his abilities. And it was this belief that allowed him to succeed against all odds. Nick is living proof that anything is possible if we believe in ourselves. No matter what challenges we face, we can overcome them if we have faith in our abilities. Number 4, acceptance. When Nick was younger, he struggled to accept his disability. He felt like he was different from everyone else and that he didn't belong. But over time, he came to accept his condition and realized that it didn't define him. In fact, he learned to embrace his uniqueness and use it to his advantage. Now, Nick is an advocate for people with disabilities, and he helps others to accept themselves. He teaches us that acceptance is the first step towards true freedom. When we accept ourselves for who we are, we're able to live our lives to the fullest. We don't need to conform to society's expectations or try to be someone else. All we need to do is accept ourselves and embrace our uniqueness. Number 3, being positive. One of the most important things that Nick has learned over the years is to stay positive. When things are tough, it's easy to give in to despair and negativity. But Nick knows that positivity is the key to success. No matter how challenging the situation, he always tries to find the silver lining. He teaches us that positivity isn't about ignoring the negative. It's about choosing to focus on the positive. When we focus on the positive, we're able to find solutions instead of dwelling on the problem. We're able to move forward and create a better future for ourselves. Number 2, don't be afraid to ask for help. Asking for help can be difficult, but Nick knows that it's important. He understands that we can't do everything on our own and that sometimes we need help from others. Whether it's emotional, physical, or financial support, asking for help is essential. Asking for help doesn't mean that you're weak. It means that you're smart and savvy. You understand your limitations, and you're not afraid to ask for help when needed. Nick is a prime example of this. He's not afraid to ask for help when he needs it, and it's this willingness to reach out that has allowed him to succeed. Number 1, be kind. One of the most important lessons that we can learn from Nick's story is to be kind. Kindness is something that we all need and something that we can all give. When we're kind to others, we make their lives better and we make the world a better place. So remember to be kind to yourself and to others. You never know what someone is going through, and a little bit of kindness can go a long way. And above all, be kind to yourself. We all make mistakes, and sometimes we can be our own worst critic. But we need to remember that we're all human, and we're all deserving of kindness. So be kind to yourself and accept yourself for who you are. Nick's story is an inspiration to us all. He teaches us that no matter what challenges we face in life, we can overcome them if we never give up hope. He also teaches us to be kind, not only to others but also to ourselves. Remember, we're all humans and we all deserve happiness. So next time you see someone who is different from you, remember Nick's story and be kind.